Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. This time, instead of One Piece, I'm bringing you Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 21 Mangekyo Sharingan. So we all know this is going to be a Sarada focused chapter. If that wasn't made any more obvious, we've actually got a cover image. Don't always get those as Boruto, but it's great to see. And we've got a nice coloured cover of Sarada herself. Sporting her Mangekyo. I think it's her Mangekyo. One moment. Obviously, I'm 35. My eyes are dodgy, I guess. But I zoomed in a little bit. Yeah, it's her Mangekyo. So, good to see. Love to see a little coloured cover of Boruto. And obviously, I'm about a month, almost a whole month late on this chapter. But I've been struggling to find time/motivation to put this together. I always get a bit daunted by the 40-page chapter. But I've been in the zone this weekend, so it's good to get it covered, get it done. I love, and it makes it sound like I hate Boruto, but I love Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. It's my favorite ongoing manga at the moment that I'm reading, even though it's at the moment of the ongoing ones I've been reading, it's only One Piece and Boruto, both great, but I prefer Boruto. So it's great to cover it. I actually vaguely remember what happened in this chapter, so it's going to be great to go over it again a month later and get it done before the next one drops in a few days. So it looks like we're opening up with a flashback. Sarada's reminiscing about her discussion with Chocho about wanting to be the Hokage. We know she wants to be Hokage one day. And we don't care about Chocho's dream. Oh, she just wants a cute husband or whatever. Boring. And we also see in the bottom panel, Boruto obviously expresses his dream to become like Sasuke, the Shadow Kage, the Hokage's right-hand man. So he dedicates that he will be Sarada's right-hand man, sort of like how Sasuke is to Naruto. They even include the close-up of Sarada blushing at Boruto's words. And as if related, it kind of goes on to the flashback of Sumire kind of saying she likes Boruto and she doesn't, asking if it bothers Sarada that other people might like Boruto, and it bothers her. And it's interesting, we can see that it's Sarada reflected, but this is, judging by the appearance, pre-time skip Sarada, because she's still wearing the forehead protector as a headband, whereas she doesn't wear it as a headband post time skip, and that's her old glasses as well. So I'm not entirely sure what that's about. We also see a flashback of Naruto saying he sees the whole village as a family, as the Hokage. Again, pre-time skip Sarada. So I can't actually remember what that was about. So let's see if the next page reveals that. So we kind of get the reveal of why it's pre-time skip Sarada. It's like a reminiscence of her just running through Konoha, kind of locking in her mindset that I guess locked out her Mangekyo, where she just wants to focus on becoming a Hokage like Naruto. And we get the next sort of like flashback scene of Boruto protecting Sarada, and they even include the whole scene of the aftermath of Boruto losing his eye to the cut, and why have I forgotten his name? Kawaki. Why did I forget Kawaki's name? Kawaki telling Sarada to stand aside. So we're getting a lot of flashbacks for some reason. And again, as I said, I read this about almost a whole month ago. I can't quite remember why the whole flashbacks are happening, but it's obviously tied to Sarada unveiling the use of her Mangekyo, not holding back anymore, So yeah, it's replaying all the moments before the reveal of the switch in circumstances between Kawaki and Boruto. So now we get like Shikamaru relaying the false information of Naruto dying by Boruto's hands, and Kawaki's rage at Boruto trying to kill Kawaki, as the story has now switched. And Sarada just trying to talk sense to her father and just getting absolutely confused at why everyone's acting bizarrely before she realizes about the whole omnipotent switch. It's kind of cool replaying this scene all over again, because I know Sumire gets a lot of hate, but she kind of caught on to what was going on very quickly and relayed that to Sarada. I don't know how she did it remotely. I don't know if she has the power to transmit mentally, but she obviously did. And Sarah, this, getting the information from Sumire is where Sarada obviously started breaking down and crying. And we know what happens next. It's the moment she unlocked the Mangekyo Sharingan, and we get the big reveal of why they were showing all this. It's because Sasuke was relaying this all to Boruto after obviously this is obviously directly right after the rescue, because his eye is freshly bandaged, and he explains the whole activation of the Mangekyo, that it's triggered by psychological shock. We already knew this though, so I'm not going to be like, oh my god, brand new information, because it's obviously not. So Sasuke continues relaying the story to Boruto about how, Sarada told him that everyone's being duped, and that he ultimately believed her because of her Mangekyo Sharingan activation, because it's good enough, I suppose. He understands the Sharingan and Mangekyo Sharingan more than anyone, so it makes sense. And it's interesting that he points out here that she probably doesn't realize she even awakened it, as I did speculate that on one of the previous chapters when she was being accused of holding back. I'm like, maybe she doesn't even realize, because the only one who saw her activate it was Sasuke, and he immediately just bolted with Boruto right after. But I do love this last panel where he says, but she will realize it eventually, as well as intuitively come to understand, and well, it's going to continue on to the next page, her abilities and what she's capable of. So I think this is something people speculated before. I can't remember if it was ever confirmed or anything, but the Uchiha did seem to just understand their Mangekyo abilities when they unlocked, and this seems to be Sasuke just confirming it, that she'll eventually just understand her abilities. And we jump forward back to the present, back to the Ryu battlefield with Sarada and her black hole ability. We kind of get a cool shot here of a close-up of Sarada's Mangekyo and her just glaring at Ryu. And then we see at the bottom, everyone's just kind of staring at her black hole and I guess waiting to see what this ability will do. So enough of watching Ryu attack Sarada with his iron sand, but Sarada's black hole just instantly absorbs all of it, negating the attack completely. So Ryu here starts to ponder Mitsuki, Sarada's abilities, if that black hole is one of her abilities. They call it a black sphere. I'm going to keep calling it a black hole. It just sounds cooler. And Sarada gives Mitsuki the order to protect himself and the others. I guess she's going to take this on solo. So to continue the points that Sasuke made earlier to Boruto in the flashback, Sarada has confirmed that she knows the abilities of her Mangekyo Sharingan, even though we've only seen one of them apparently, because as we know, Mangekyo seem to always have two abilities, one for each eye, and assumedly I forget the actual name they gave for it, but her black hole ability, it should just be one of them, right? And moving on, we see Ryu has a plan he's worked out that the iron sand is drawn into her black hole, but he attacks anyway with the iron sand. So his plan is to ensure Sarada is on the trajectory of the black sand towards the iron sand towards the black hole. And as we see in the bottom panel, he is attacked from a side where it will, even if it's drawn into the black hole, it will go through Sarada. A solid plan, it so seems. But to Ryu's surprise, the iron sand is drawn in the opposite direction towards him and past him. And in his amazement, he turns around. Sarada has generated another black hole. Ryu turns back to Sarada and sees that the original hole is still there, and obviously deduces that there's two now. There are two spheres. But then he looks again and there's a third sphere. Sarada's spamming these black holes. And then we get a big shot and there's actually 4 black holes now. They're just growing and growing. And oh my god, this at the bottom, Sarada just looks really cool. And obviously Ryu saying he counts at least 4 holes. I wonder if this will keep growing. Just then, Ryu starts getting pulled towards a black hole that's now appeared behind him. We see the activation of her ability, so she's obviously created another hole that's now targeting Ryu himself. And as if to add to the craziness, Sarada at the bottom here starts floating too. This ability is insane. And again, talking about big cool shots, we've got a shot of just Sarada and Ryu floating between the black holes. And obviously at the bottom here, Ryu is confused at what's going on, but Mitsuki seems to have worked it out. Gravitational force. Hence why myself and pretty much the whole fandom has been calling it a black hole. Because it just acts like a black hole. And Ryu, in his desperation, tries to cling to the ground with his iron sand, but it's meaningless because the iron sand is just pulled away by the black hole. Mitsuki's very clever, isn't he? Because he's already deduced that these black holes are exerting a strong gravitational pull, and that Sarada can decide the targets of the holes. So as we can see, Mitsuki, Yodo, and Araya aren't affected. And then we see at the bottom, Ryu starts getting pulled towards the black hole behind him. Sarada starts a speech, a great speech. For too long, I've averted my gaze, fretting that my goal to become Hokage felt so out of reach, never being able to do anything about all of the calamities happening. I didn't want to acknowledge it. I was scared to admit how that's a weird one. How powerlessness I am. I think how powerless I am would have been sufficient. So I looked away. So she felt so helpless and powerless in all these stupidly alien Otsutsuki level threats and how far beneath them she was, that she could never become a powerful Hokage. So she looked away. She was unsettled by Sumire's feelings that she revealed to Sarada, and Sarada's own feelings towards Boruto. She saw them as weakness and rejected them. But when you consider that emotions and feelings are the power of the Sharingan, especially her awakened but unrealized Mangekyo Sharingan, she held that back as well. And now by accepting those feelings, she is unlocking a lot of her power. Ryu now just wants Sarada to stop talking. He's obviously getting frustrated and unleashes attack, calling her a psycho. But we just get a cold close-up of her Sharingan, her Mangekyo Sharingan. Ryu is pinned to the black hole that is trying to absorb him, and we see he's got a pained expression. Got a really cool shot here of Sarada looking down on a helpless Ryu, and he realizes that the pulling force is getting stronger, and Sarada just coldly says, "I'm not looking away anymore." Sarada continues her speech, "'Cause if I run from myself, I can't tackle the reality in front of me, can't save a single person." And we get a close-up of Yodo obviously in a dire strait, not even sure if she's alive at this point. And we continue with Ryu here, where he ejects what are they called again? They're called claw grimes. I forgot what they were called. A claw grime comes out of Ryu, and he sticks his fingers through the claw mark that would put him through to their home base. But that's all he can do. And even though it's not clear, Jura is glancing towards that portal they use and sees Ryu's fingertips. And as I said, Jura definitely glances and sees Ryu's fingertips. We see a close-up now of him glancing in that direction. Ryu bemoaning his helplessness as he can't even move a finger. And Sarada continues her speech. "If becoming Hokage is my dream, I need to start by accepting myself." So, good to see Sarada getting a power boost, right? And we finally get the name of Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan ability, Ohirume. I've probably butchered that pronunciation. I also forgot to mention we got the we can see that her Mangekyo has started bleeding out of the right eye. So that might be her right eye ability, I guess. Maybe, question mark? But on the next page, we see they've actually done an editor's note. Ohirume is an alternate name for Amaterasu. They've said it so many times in the series, and now I can't say Amaterasu. Amaterasu, the sun goddess and chief deity of the Shinto pantheon. And then she increases the power of the orb, sucking Ryu in. He is in agony, and her eye continues to bleed. And honestly, looks like it's actually coming out of her left eye now, right? Because on... Oh, no, that's... No. That's definitely her right eye. Yeah, because that's the edge of the glass going to her ear. The eyebrows pointing downwards. So it's still only coming out of her right eye for now, as far as we can tell. And we just get this cool shot of Ryu just being absolutely obliterated in a cool, like, atom-looking thing, as Mitsuki and Araya are just sprinkled by, like, the remaining iron sand. Sarada, at this point, reaches her limit and just starts to fall. But Mitsuki, thankfully, is going to do something finally and catches her, preventing her from hurting herself and gently bringing her to the ground. Sarada is confirmed unconscious. She must have used up all her chakra. Just then, though, Araya notices something. He looks up, and it's the fawn bulb revealed, which Mitsuki also acknowledges. Will they get Ryu's fawn bulb? We won't find out, because we're changing scenes. So we're jumping now to see what Koji, Boruto, and Ida are up to. Ida was watching the fight and has relayed to them that Sarada has taken down Ryu, but she also seems to and Koji seems to confirm that awakening Sarada's Mangekyo was one of the goals of this battle. But Ida seems to confirm here that Yodo has seemingly passed, and that Koji at the bottom here seems to confirm he knew Yodo was going to die and that her sacrifice was necessary for this, which Boruto seems to notice as well and doesn't take too kindly to it. So Boruto wants to know if the Mangekyo could have been awakened without anyone dying, which Koji seems to confirm that if he'd gone and helped on the battlefield, she would not have awakened her Mangekyo, and he determined it best to not relay the information about Yodo dying. So he knew it was all going to happen, and that the outcome of this battle proves him right. But Boruto's attention and questioning shifts to the other battlefield. Will Konohamaru die to Matsuri? And almost confirming that this will be the case, because Koji dodges the question entirely and says that if Boruto goes, Jura will seize him and kill him. So it's not worth going. He's seen many permutations of this. And just if on cue, we do switch to the Konohamaru Matsuri battlefield. And Matsuri, as we see, is still furious at Konohamaru for trying to trick her. And, well, she's got him double impaled in the shoulders. He's basically done at this point. But before she can land the killing blow, she is struck by a shuriken. The shuriken was thrown by Boruto, who has appeared on the battlefield. It appears he used Flying Thunder God to get there. I'm not entirely sure how he did it, because wasn't he reliant on Koji's toads to relay what symbol he needed to use? Unless he knew that one was in the sand. Perhaps we'll find out next chapter how he did it. Or he just kind of winged it and tried his luck. But either way, he's on the battlefield, staring down at Matsuri and Konohamaru. Before she can even utter his name, he just absolutely obliterates her. And it's interesting, she breaks apart like a tree. I know she's a wood style user thanks to Moegi, but I didn't expect her to actually kind of break apart like a tree. Koji is furious at Boruto's actions. He's going to ruin everything. And we see that Jura, thanks to his linked abilities with Matsuri, which I forgot to talk about earlier, it got mentioned by Koji and I completely glanced over it, but all the Shinju have linked senses. Perhaps that's what the Rinnegan's all about, but he now knows Boruto's there and will probably act on that in the next chapter. But that is where we end for I guess it's previous month at this point, since the next one's a couple days away. All in all, fantastic chapter. We saw the conclusion of the Ryu and the Matsuri encounters. And will they get the form bulbs? Will they get out in time? Will Boruto be in danger? Anyone else? I would like to say it's a surprise, but I think most of us have seen the sneak peek by now, so we know what's coming. And it does seem to be setting up for a Boruto against Jura fight, which 1v1 he's probably going to lose. I've seen a lot of speculation. People think that Kawaki's going to show up and it's going to be a 2v1, and people have also been speculating that Hidari might even show up on the side of Jura, because his target is obviously Sarada and she's there unconscious. But it's all exciting. It's shaping up for a big fight next chapter, and I can't wait for it in a few days. Until then, though, thank you for watching as ever, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye now.